Well, it's that time of year again, isn't it? End of September, harvest is coming well and truly to a close now, and the cold nights are really drawing in, sort of warm days, cold nights. It's that sort of temperature that really starts to herald in autumn and winter, isn't it? We had a really cold night last night actually, as you can see behind me. These were all my butternut squash. They've all gone limp, which is obviously a sign of the cold. Most of my squashes have all suffered the same fate actually, but and so if there's not anything come off them by now, then there certainly won't be. Pumpkins over here, they're all dying off and going crispy. As you can see, a few little orange little beauties sitting in amongst there. But yeah, the leaves are really showing signs of dying off now. That's when things like mildew can take hold. While the plant's young and strong, they can't really get a grip, but the mildew really gets hold on the leaves as they start to die back, I suppose. They weaken off. Oh, I did have a little dig around in my Brassica cage, and as you can see, my kohlrabi have all come along quite nicely, neglected as they have been. But a lot of the time that's what plants need, give them the right conditions and leave them to it. As you can see those there, it's actually the bulb that you tend to eat on these. It's very cabbagey flavour. It's actually just the stalk that's enlarged. You can grate that, make coleslaw and other lovely dishes with it. And looking back through the cage as well, there's a bit of a disaster at the back there. You can see there's a couple of sunflowers that came up and they've died off. A few cabbages, that one looks a bit ropey, but I'm sure there's a lovely cabbage underneath there just waiting to be harvested. And everything else has sort of been eaten, which is lovely. Well, it was lovely. The marigolds and the dahlias are continuing to flower, which they probably will do till a decent frost takes them off actually, but there's some beautiful big blooms in there. Absolutely loving them, and so are the bees as well. A little treat this late on in the season. Take you around and show you my Brassica cage. We walk past me lupins and foxgloves that need... Oh, I want to show you this actually. Have you ever seen... These are spent hollyhocks. I say spent because they're finished flowering, but the seeds that you get out of them... So you've got these little pods here. You just peel that back, it's like a little cassette in a little circular pattern. Look at that, all those seeds there. So they're more hollyhocks if you want more hollyhocks. They'll probably self-seed quite effectively, but I just love the little circular pattern that you get. Come on, focus, your little focuser. Focus on my fingers, there you go. Yeah, beautiful. Look at them, nature's done its job. Plants have flowered, attracted the insects, been pollinated, produced the seed, and then they can die. Anyway, I got sidetracked there, didn't we? Into the Brassica house, a bit of a nightmare in here. I've not cleaned it up yet. Ideally, you want to get all of these dead leaves up off the ground to prevent any sort of disease or anything setting in. I've got a bit of anti-weed membrane on the floor there, which keeps the worst of it at bay. Got my Brussels sprouts at the back there, they need the bottom leaves taken off. And there's a cauliflower here which it's probably gone a little bit too far actually. I had all the other cauliflowers and I've been eating them, but these ones never made it. I'm going to walk through one of them big spidey webs now. No. Get out the way, get out the way. Red cabbages looking lovely, look at that one there, it's hearted up beautifully. Don't seem to get affected by cabbage whites and other pests as badly as the green veg. But yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, looking a bit ropey at the end there. See the big yellow leaves on it. And the size of some of these cabbage leaves though, huge mongos. And then of course the sprouts. Sweet corn have been absolutely lovely this year as well. I've actually harvested from these ones, as you can see. So I've taken the one out of that joint. There is other smaller ones on there, but I don't think they'll be up to much, to be honest with you. A bit late in the season, if they are on there, they'll be very small. And this poor little petty pan's really suffered from the cold, look at it. It's like, no, I give up, it's too cold. You left me outside, you bugger, and now I'm dead. Never mind. Blooming artichokes. Like I said, I dug artichokes out for hours and hours and hours, and I got buckets of them, and they just said nope and carried on growing anyway. So once you've got them, try and contain them, otherwise you'll never get rid of the blooming things. That's them growing away. They've actually just started to get the little flower heads developing on top as well. I don't know if you can make its little flower head out. Little spiky bit at the top, so that'll have a little golden and yellow flower on it. I say same family as sunflowers, but obviously these are eaten for the roots. Greenhouses again, coming to the end of things now. I've got plenty of green tomatoes on there, plenty of red tomatoes on there. Probably in the next couple of days I will harvest the rest of the green ones, put them indoors somewhere dark to ripen up. Peppers and chilies as well, they've got plenty on there. There's an absolute jungle of them there, isn't there? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plants at the back there, all sort of various heights and stages, and then some more chilies and peppers down this side as well. Lovely! And then this greenhouse where this sort of thistleous Cape gooseberry type affairs decided to grow, right in my doorway. It's doing really well actually, so I'm sort of loath to cut it back, and I do love the fruit so much. But yeah, it's thugging at the minute. There's my door. I can just about squeeze in if I want to. Go in for water, and look at them habaneros hanging off of there, look. Habanero, hot bottom time. So yeah, loads of chilies. I've put a couple of watermelons in there. They don't do particularly well here, the climate's not great. There is one, I'm trying to search for it. Where am I pointing? There, oh there we go. So that's a little baby watermelon. Or is it a gala melon? Some sort of melon. Melons. Melon. So yeah, there's that. It's only small at the minute, it's about the size of a cricket ball. So we'll see how far he gets. The rest of the plant's looking a little bit weak. Right, somewhere in amongst all of it, there's a couple of marrows and a courgette. And I don't know what else actually, so it's going to be quite an adventure. I'm going to get in there and see what's there. Get rid of the plants as well because they're looking a bit ropey. By ropey I mean deed. By deed I mean dead. I'll go and get my little weed bucket. Flipping thing. I tell you what, in the middle of winter you can see everything. You can stand in one place and see everything. Right now I can't see a massive bucket anywhere. Yeah I can. Sorry about that. There we go, looks a bit neater now, then plants out of the way. If I kind of cover them up like that, there we go. Much neater now then plants are out of the way. And a final dazzling display of colour from these sunflowers as well. Sequential planting and leaving them to sort of self-seed themselves meant that I've had colour for, gosh, it must be 3 months now. Which is just lovely. Just lovely, look at them there. Right, this should probably be a laugh. I put this little cover on my brassicas earlier on in the year and left them to it, so I'm just going to open it up now, see what's underneath. There might be a cabbage under there if I'm lucky. Let me drag the weeds out of there and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. And there we go, nothing too spectacular underneath there, but there's a decent cabbage here on the end. That one's about had it, next one's alright. I'll have a look now, see what we can get, if anything, out of them. Give them a little cut. Needs a bit of a wash, but you know, not too bad. Well, it's quite strange actually. As the day goes on, I can see more and more of the damage that these pumpkins and squash have taken overnight. If you remember this morning we had a look and they were just a little bit limp. Now you can see that the day's really showing its full toll on them. So yeah, they've completely caught the nip and are dead. You can see they've gone dark brown. Some of them, like this little butternut here, as you can see, completely DED. So I think that'll be the next job actually. I certainly don't want any of the fruit that I have got to take any damage, because any frost left on the skin of any squash or pumpkins or anything like that will damage them. So you want to try and get them in. We are looking at cold nights, so next job right there. Now if you have been growing any pumpkins that you want to save for Halloween, that's absolutely fine. They should last quite well. There's a couple of little areas that you just want to be careful with. I'll show you. Oh, it's not like I can cause any damage. These are some only tiny little ones because they're the only ones that really came true on my plot. But when you cut it, if you're going to have any problems, it's going to be here on the stem. So if you carry that around and you accidentally split that and cause a crack in the top of the pumpkin, that can be where infections can get in and cause it to rot. So what I've done there is I've just left a nice bit of stalk on and kept all of that intact. I'm going to carry it here. I'm not going to try carrying it here because again that can put a strain on there and cause damage. But these ones, yeah, I mean that's fully cured, fully ripened, nice and orange. So I should just keep that somewhere cool but not exposed to frost and you know, just dry and safe, and they'll be absolutely fine. Oh, I've damaged one of my little flowers, look. Look at those beautiful pastel shades. Almost been dry brushed, pink on white, beautiful. Oh, what they are they cosmos? Could be cosmos. Look a bit cosmosy. I didn't plant them, so they've self-seeded. I had cosmos here last year, so there's a good chance it's a cosmos. Don't know what else in the cosmos it could be. Let me know. Send me a postcard. Not sure about this one. It's kind of the biggest one that I've managed to produce, which is not saying much, but it's got a few soft spots on this side, so we'll see if that cures and dries out. It's got a few little splits in here as well in the top, so you know, I'll probably be one to use straight away rather than to try and save. I'm going to clear away all of this now. Just waiting for the tram to go by. So that's late on in another day. I've stood in a hole. Managed to clear out all of the pumpkins and everything like that, start to clear out some of the other beds. As you can see, it's that time of year, everything's sort of, yeah, that's about it, isn't it? It's coming towards the end of all of your summer crops and you're starting to think about getting your next lot in. Onions, your garlic, your broad beans and everything, which can all be planted this side of Christmas. So I'll be having a look at doing them in a couple of days. Yeah. So, still a bit of a jungle, but you know, things are what they are. Got a little bit of a harvest today, which is nice as well. Got some of these lovely ripe tomatoes here, various sizes. That's my Gigantimo, after getting my initial Gigantimus tomatoes. Gigantimus? I'm making words up here, I'm tired. But yeah, they're still coming thick and fast. And I've got my petit pan and my pumpkins. It's not getting so cold tonight, about 10 degrees, but certainly the cold nights are back upon us. Look, empty space, empty beds. So many trip hazards around here. Yeah, right, so, look, sorry, I know, I've already told you, but come down this morning, had a look, everything looked green, I thought, oh, that'll be fine. Look what the weather last night did to it. And that sort of progressed over the day. So, yes. Well, that's about all I've got time for today anyway. Thank you very much for joining me, and I shall see you soon. Bye-bye. Well, it's that time of year again.